Hi, I'm Rabbi Jeremy Gordon from New London Synagogue.
I'm Cantor Jason Green, also from New London Synagogue.
We thought we'd have a look at the Kedusha, literally the sanctification, the holiness. There's an amazing understanding of the word Kodesh in Rudolf Otto's book, where he talks about God as being wholly other, which is a really good joke, right? WHOLLY. That what we're deeming God to be is beyond and apart, and that connects to that connects to all kinds of mentions of the Kedusha and Kodesh and different kind of root forms. In the Torah, you could walk up to an animal and say, "This animal is Kodesh," and that meant that you couldn't have it, right? It belonged to God. It belonged to the sanctuary. So it's about acknowledging our God's aboveness and beyondness, right? And it appears in the Amidah, in the repetition of the Amidah, only if you're Quorat, only if you've got a minyan of people there, and only in the Shacharit and the Musaf Amidah, and Shacharit, Musaf, and Mincha Amidot. The reason why it doesn't appear in the Mariv Amidah is kind of, easily explained, because only Shacharit and Mincha are connected to temple sacrifices. Right. So only Shacharit and Mincha are commanded, and actually we only repeat Shacharit and Mincha. Mariv is a tradition to do. It's not an obligation.
Entity, though.
Right. And quite how it ended up appearing in Musaf, El Bogan, the very important El Bogan. This is horribly old now, but I still think quite important. It says that it only ended up coming into Musaf 1913. In 1913, the cutting edge of thought was that we only did the Kedusha in Musaf because the shuls were locked during Shacharit, and it was only after the time of Shacharit had passed that they would allow the shuls to be open. Everybody sort of ran in, and they doubled, and they'd we should do a Kedusha.
Huh.
But
it's a good thing we do these videos, because I wouldn't have known that otherwise. As we go. Good.
All right. I've got the I've got the Siddur Shem Shalom, actually the one with the commentary of Rabbi Reuven Hammer, formerly of this parish.
Yes,
You've got the...
I've got the Sachs Green Siddur.
Great. And should we hear a bit from Shacharit?
Sure.
So I'm on page 116.
I'm on page 392. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך לארץ כבודו.
Oh, yeah, pausing there. So the third prayer of the Amidah is a prayer that acknowledges God's holiness, right? So the first prayer is about Avot, the second, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The second prayer is about reawakening of the dead and the might of God, and then we acknowledge God's holiness. And when we do it privately, it's very short, right? So when we do it privately, Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahlelucha sela. Interesting. How many kadoshs appear in that? Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahlelucha sela.
One more.
Right, and then Baruch Atah Hashem Ha'el HaKadosh.
Which is a summary always of...
Right.
Good.
So that's what we do privately. But when we are properly constituted, we imagine ourselves to be like angels.
Mm-hmm. That's why the feet are plastered together and we don't move, because the angels had more of a pedestal than feet.
Right. No knees. Knees are humans. Do you tippy toe that, right? I tippy toe that as well. You'll sometimes see people bowing it, but I think you should tippy toe it, because precisely this idea, this is as close as we get to be like angels, and we draw this from Isaiah. Right.
Oh, it's a kind of a physical manifestation of Ma'alim B'Kodesh.
Yeah. Good. Wow, if one was really good, you would go up 3 centimeters, down 1, go up 3 centimeters, down 1, go up 3 centimeters.
In fact, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Great. That's really nice. So you get higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's coming from Isaiah 6:3, which has a posh name. It's the Trish Agion, or the Tri-Shagion. I don't know. Which is when Isaiah, it's Isaiah's first calling towards God. And you get a sense of how terrified Isaiah is. The year that Uzziah died, I saw God sitting on a throne high lifted up. Seraphim stood above to minister to him. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face. With 2 he covered somewhere down below, maybe his feet, maybe his privates. And with 2 he did fly. And one cried to the other and said, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavaot. And then says Isaiah, woe is me, I am undone. I am a man of unclean lips, I'm going to die. But he does all right in the end, Isaiah. What are you trying to do musically with this Nakadesh Shimcha Ba'olam?
The concept of holiness in the sound of that's coming out. It shouldn't be a rambunctious. It should be more of a. You should sense the sort of ethereality of it. Nikadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam, right? And we have Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivot. It's a little bit more gravitas there because we're talking about Lord of everything, or hosts. Meloch haaretz kevodo. A sense of filling the space, which of course is
right.
Meloch haaretz, filling the whole world with God's glory.
I like this V'kara Zeh El Zeh. One of the classic midrashim is about how nice the angels are. Shall we call Kadosh? Yes, we shall call Kadosh. Would you like to go first? Yes, why? Thank you so much. That it's this sort of harmonious world. Well, I mean, I think that the angels are very decent in the way that they behave with one another. They don't interrupt one another. They don't. They all are there doing the same job.
Right, and there's the word painting right in the physical sense where I literally bow left and right and forward during the
right.
V'kara Zeh El Zeh V'amar. And it's almost onomatopoeic. I mean, they're chatting.
Oh, very nice. Zeh. Yeah. But and just the language I think is really interesting, right? Nekadesh Shimcha Ba'olam. Here we all are. We've come to shul. Let us make your name holy, Ba'olam, down here. Just as those angels, Mukdashim Oto, in heaven. So we're saying, the angels make you holy in heaven. We're going to make you holy down, or make your name holy here. Interesting, right? Nekadesh Shimcha Ba'olam. You can't make God holy. Right? God's holy already.
Right.
You can't tell the queen. You can't tell the queen. You can't make the queen the queen. The queen's the queen already.
Right.
So we make the name holy as the angels make him, God, holy. So the angels are actually properly doing it, and we're at this sort of generation down slightly below.
There's a musical affect going on here as well. It starts out in this Varaba mode, Nikadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam, but then moving into the angel's position, it actually modulates into the relative major. Good. We've got that. This is down here, and now we're going to change the key up a third, and display the angels'
Very
place
nice.
in all this.
Very nice. Should we skip to Musaf?
Yeah.
Here. So in the Kedusha at Musaf, it appears.
Page you on?
Yeah, I'm on page 157 in the Sim Shalom.
I'm in page 436 in the Saks.
It comes in exactly the same place. It's a repeat. It's a replacement of the third blessing when we do the public repetition of the Amidah, if you are Koret, but it has a different opening line.
It's only moderately different. It's still that the theme is still going to be the same.
The theme's the same, right?
And it starts the same way. Na'aritzecha v'nakdishecha kisod siach safei kodesh hamakdishim shimcha ba'kodesh kakatuv al yad neviyecha v'kara zeh el zeh v'yamar.
And then the same verse from Isaiah.
Kadosh. Yeah.
So Na'aritz is kind of interesting, right? Ayin Reish Sadi. It's quite an unusual verb, right? I mean, translated here as we revere. What have you got? You've got revere as well. I mean, I don't know. I suppose it's a bit like Eskimos have lots of names for snow, right? You know, we have lots of names of how to be Kodesh. So we are Eretzing you with an ayin, not to be confused with Eretz with an aleph, right? We are Kadoshing Nikadeshcha. So we are actually now making you holy, which is kind of interesting.
Right. No longer shamed.
This isn't translated here at all. I'm just looking at this with words uttered by the holy seraphim, Sarfei HaKodesh, right? Who then Makdishim Oto up in the upper levels, and you're making that shift up up to that high angelic realm as you're singing.
It does happen to some extent, although I think not quite as
as neatly
because it doesn't focus on the earth, right? In the Shacharit Amidah, Ba'olam, right? We don't have the Ba'olam so clearly indicated here, but it does. Naritzecha v'nakdishcha kesotzel safei kodesh hamakdishim. It's up a fourth shimcha ba'kodesh, which is a pre-concluding phrase in nusach terms, but it does separate from the first part, the actions that we're doing. Na'aritzecha v'nakdishecha. Then come the angels. Makdishim Shabbat. Right.
And how do you feel about sort of tunes for this? Right. I mean, you know, certainly in Musaf, there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing it. Yes. Right. So there's Na'aritzecha v'nakdishecha. Right. So, right. And there's
oh my goodness, any number of things. Na'aritzecha v'nakdishecha kesotziach safei kodesh. That's probably Elstein.
And what do you?
There's
I mean, how do you make decisions on a kind of Shabbat by Shabbat basis what to do?
A good question. The first consideration is, what does the congregation know and love? And I think you want to do that more often than other things. You want the congregation joining in, or at least relating to it, feeling like, here's a melody I know and love. You know, when I work with choirs, our choir actually doesn't do. We do a nusach version of the Musaf Amidah, so you get very sort of direct nusach from that. If I'm going to choose something else, it will be something depending on how I feel vocally that day, depending on, what impresarios are. No, just kidding. It's how you feel.
What did you do on Simchat Torah? What did you
on Simchat Torah. Okay, so on Simchat Torah, what did I do? I'd probably have to check my Sukkot Machzor.
Yeah, right, because you've got 25 different opera things and in and out of...
Yeah, I mean, it could have been, I don't know, something from an opera or from Broadway. What did I do?
But I don't remember. Part of that is that if you have a central nusach, it allows you in some ways to experiment, right? You know, if you know what normal is, then you can say, today's not a normal day, and I'm going to signpost that by doing something kind of liturgically different.
Right. Although I'm a little bit reticent to be frivolous with it.
Right.
You don't want... This is the Kedusha. Even on Simchat Torah, right? So we keep it. But yes, it's an opportunity to mark particular occasions. You know, on Yom HaAtzmaut, I might do to the melody of Avir Harin Tzilukayim Yayin. Na'aritzecha v'nakdishecha. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav.
Yeah. People tend to like that.
That sort of thing. But it should be done very, very cautiously. Certainly not every Shabbat. Actually, the comments come out, we should do that kind of thing every Shabbat. No, we shouldn't.
And one other thing about who goes first and who repeats and pausing and waiting and everybody joining in. What are your...
So there's different customs that have come about in different communities. The Siddur will have in our case, an Ashkenaz custom. And it goes back and forth throughout the Kedusha. right? So the first Naritzacha after the Shliach Tzibur finishes Mechayei HaMeitim and leaves it open. So Mechayei HaMeitim. It's not Mechayei HaMeitim, right? It's not closed. It leaves it open. The congregation then knows they're supposed to do something. So they do.
So you want to hear at that point.
Yes, you do.
Right. Good.
Yes, you do. And then I would repeat that.
So how do you end that Malech Kol Haaretz Kavodo so that you get us to come back in?
Keep it open. Keep it open. Open fifth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech Kol Haaretz Kavodo.
Bush and then Kavodo. Right.
It's a visible sort of prompting. You use this. Yalda Rebling, one of our colleagues, who is just an absolute expert in the liturgy, had a wonderful analogy that she gave at the Ijel convention a few years ago. And she said, a Shliach Tzibur is like an angel, and she was using the Kedusha to explain it. The wings of the angel, you're facing the ark, the wings are what are behind you, and you have to somehow do this to the congregation with your wings and bring them along with you. It's a beautiful image I have in mind every Shabbat. I think of her, I think of this. You have to bring the congregation along on a journey without saying, okay, come on now, or turning around and conducting, which you can do too. That's part of it. Right.
Well, actually not here, right? You wouldn't want to be moving at
correct.
this point.
If my feet are stuck on the ground.
Yeah.
And right.
Well, listen, Hamevi Devad B'Shem Amram, Maviga Ulala Olam, one who brings something that they learned from someone and mentions their name, you bring redemption to the world. So maybe that will do for today.
Thank you, Yalta.
We'll be back next time.
See you soon.